Here are 10 ways to mentally stimulate your dog. A great way to mentally stimulate your dog is getting them to work for their food. You can do this by hand feeding. Utilizing hand feeding when you're doing your obedience drills is really going to skyrocket your obedience. Not only will this skyrocket their obedience, this will also skyrocket their food drive. Sniffy walks are a fantastic way to mentally stimulate your dog, as it allows them to immerse in the world around them. Dogs use their nose to work out the world around them. They sniff on lampposts and trees and the grass to work out what dogs have passed through here recently. This can also be really beneficial for anxious dogs, as it allows them to take in the world around them at a slow pace. Get your dog a puzzle toy. This is a great way to get them to use their brain. Allowing your dog to immerse in a puzzle will allow them to switch off from the world around them. You could best benefit from giving your dog a puzzle whilst they're in their crate to decompress, which all in all will be a fantastic way to mentally stimulate your dog, and you barely need to put in any effort. A simple Fenrir hammer filled with your dog's daily food, which you could then freeze. Giving them this will then keep them occupied for a few hours. Teaching your dog a new trick is a great way to mentally stimulate them, as it allows them to focus and really pinpoint what they need to do in order to get the access to the reward. Now, I'm not saying just get your dog to sit or lay down. Get really creative with it. Get them to go round objects, go through tunnels, really get them to utilize their mind in order to gain access to the reward. Playing nosework games with your dog is a great way to mentally stimulate them, as it allows them to really channel in and use their senses to locate the thing they are looking for. For example, getting their favorite toy and hiding it in the garden so they have to then locate it and bring it back to you. Doing this is going to really channel in on those senses and mentally stimulate them. Teaching your dog the name of their toys. Yes, you heard it right. Allowing your dog to understand what each and every toy means is going to really channel in on their mental stimulation and get them to think about what they need to then bring towards you. Remember, with this one, the world is your oyster, so you can have as many toys as you like and get your dog to figure them out. Playing free shaping games with your dog is a great way to really target their mind. For example, say your dog walks around a lamppost with their lead and it gets a little bit caught. Allowing them to figure out how to get out of that situation, and then that situation then leading to a reward, is really going to benefit them mentally. Agility and obstacle courses are another fantastic way to mentally stimulate your dog, as they have to complete certain amount of tasks in a short amount of time to then lead to a reward at the end. You can go absolutely crazy with this one. Let your creativity go wild. So from things like hurdles to A-frames to tunnels, anything that your dog finds interesting that you can then utilize for this challenge. Engaging in interactive play not only is going to play on your dog's mental stimulation, but this is also going to build on your dog's relationship with you. You could do this by playing tug with your dog and structuring it a little bit. Getting them to drop the toy, sit, wait, and then present the toy again is then going to utilize their mind in order to understand how they gain access to the toy. Another great example of interactive play would be the flirt pole. This is a great way to really tap into your dog's prey drive, getting them to laser focus on something as it's moving around quite sporadically. And then once they eventually do get hold of it, you can then utilize your drop command so they let go and then interact with the game again. Playing the shell game with your dog is a great way to factor in mental stimulation. By doing this, all you're going to need is some cups or maybe even some plant pots with holes in the top. Adding in food underneath of them and then moving them around a little bit so your dog has to work out then where that food is located. Not only is this really going to be beneficial for your nose-driven dogs out there, it's really going to target those senses to really mentally stimulate your dog. Another way you could step this up a notch is by having your dog in a separate room to the cups themselves. Adding the items then under the cups and moving them around a little bit, and then introducing your dog so they then have to locate them solely off their senses. So there are 10 ways you could mentally stimulate your dog. Give them a try and tag us on Instagram.